already here in the junkyard Camaro garage, and been working on the leaf spring setup. I used a set of springs off of an S10 pickup and the perches off the S10 pickup. To get them to work on here, I had to swap them from one side to the other, and I made a bracket here that I welded to that and put it through this control arm, and it's also bolted up through the floor up here in the front too. Probably going to make another brace to weld in here maybe, but right now I'm just in a test and tune process, see if it's even going to work before I get to welding a whole bunch of stuff in here. But on this Camaro, the frame on these swoops in on this side, so the spring on the frame up here wouldn't be in line with the frame back here, so I had to make this bracket that comes off of it here and attaches it to that. It's a pretty heavy duty piece right there, and then it goes through the frame. It's bolted through the frame all the way across. Hopefully it'll do alright. I put a piece of angle up there on the top and bolted it down and welded it to it. Also just kind of stiffen it up a little bit right there. I don't know how much pressure it's going to have on it. Once I get to messing around with it and driving, I'll probably put my GoPro in a couple different places on it here and kind of launch it and see what kind of twisting and flexing we get. I'm also going to try something here. I'm going to make a bracket to weld the top of this rear end, come up here and hook this control arm to it, and I want to put it and be able to adjust it up and down. Hopefully, kind of in theory, is when that pinion angle wants to come up from the torque on it, if this is fastened up here, it should want to push down on the rear end, I'm thinking, and help plant the tires maybe, and keep it located proper. I did have to drill a new hole. I had to buy a $16 cobalt drill bit to drill through this, but put that in the drill press and it went right through it like it's cutting through aluminum. This part here, that in order to get my wheels to set right in the fender well, I needed like a drop block, I guess you'd put on like on lowrider pickups or something, and didn't have that, and I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of money on it because I didn't know if this was going to work at all anyway. But I cut a tube off of another S10 axle, and it had the spring perch on it. So then I welded it to the original axle, and the control arm bracket here, was one here. I welded it all the way around that on both sides. It's welded in there solid. I'm pretty confident it's not going anywhere, and had to do that on both sides to get the ride height the way I wanted it. And that's partially due to how low that this bracket has to be on here. It really would have helped if I could have put it notched out the frame, put it up inside the car, but I really didn't want to do that. So anyway, this is what I got. I've already had it bolted in here and everything, but I had to, once I had it all mocked up where I wanted it, I took it all back out and kind of cleaned it up and painted it, and went over some of the welds. And also got to make a bracket for my shocks, which that won't be too big of a deal. But I've had it sitting on the, with U-bolts and everything on it, with the tightened down in there. I've had it sitting on the spring with this one helper spring, just the one leaf here and the one helper spring, and it's set perfect. The tires just kind of set right in here, just right where I wanted it. Got lucky, I guess. But anyway, so far that's the progress I've got on it. I know these little 10 bolts ain't very tough, but before I go to the trouble of putting a 9-inch or a 12 bolt Chevy or something in it, I want to see if this leaf spring setup is going to work. But the good thing about this is if it works right, I can throw any rear end in here and don't have to worry about that stupid torque arm and all these brackets and everything that comes on the back of these third gens. They might be good on road courses or whatever, but I think they leave a little bit to be desired on drag racing, and that's kind of what I'm going to do with this. And there's been lots and lots of fast cars over the years that run on leaf springs. I don't think I have to have coil spring set up and multiple control arms and all that kind of garbage. So anyway, I'm going to give this a try. If it works out, it might really work out good. I might do this to my other Camaro. Anyway, this is 3rd Gen Johnson. Good luck with your hot rods, and let the gears turn, big tires burn.